Okay, so this is a kind of response video to a few bits and pieces. Now, if you remember back a couple of uploads, I talked about SCUF controllers, how I felt that SCUF controllers were frustrating. I didn't like playing against people that use them. I almost felt it was a little bit unfair. Now, when I sort of pinpointed that problem, I did actually point out, look, it's not the people using them that is the issue. That, you know, I'm not bothered about these people. The main thing, and maybe I didn't stipulate this enough, I'm sure I did mention it, but I'll point it out again, it's not necessarily the SCUF controllers that's the problem. It's more for me Call of Duty, games like Black Ops 2 with broken camera angles, with lag compensation. When the animations, you know, when you've come around a corner and you've seen a guy and you think, whoa, where did he come from? And, you know, on his screen he actually looks as though he's been looking at you all the time. How many times has that happened? Well, when somebody drop shots me, it always feels like the animation is so strange and, you know, so corrupted that it's actually happening faster than what it really is. Whereas when I've seen it in the kill cam, they're actually floating a little bit. But in my perspective, they kind of jump, drop, move, gone. You know, and that's been my big issue with it, is it doesn't look realistic and it's hard to deal with. So I've had people drop shot before. I've been shooting them on the way down, on the transition down, because my reactions, even though I'm an old dog, are still quite quick, and the bullets haven't been connecting. And that, as far as I'm concerned, is more to do with the lag and, you know, like I say, the character animations. The animations in Call of Duty have got very busted up over the years. You look at Call of Duty Ghost with the females and the, you know, and the ghillie suits. Look at their little skippy legs when they come around the corner and the legs are moving 10 to the dozen. It's just really shit animation as far as I'm concerned. So that's kind of my biggest issue, but the SCUF controller animates that a hell of a lot more. So that was my problem with that. But I don't want to go back to that. What I really want to talk about is, you know, people in the comments section were kind of toing and froing from their emotions about it and what they think. And it was a good debate. You know, there was mixed emotions about it, mixed feelings. But there was one comment that kept popping up over and over again where people were saying, well, hang on a minute, you're talking about people with SCUF controllers saying that they've got an advantage over you. What about your NetDoom router? You know, surely that's the same theory. You've got an advantage over these people because you've got godlike connection all the time. And that comment popped up quite a lot, and I did answer one or two, and then I saw that there was that many of the same comment coming up. I thought, I'm going to have to do this commentary and address it a little bit more. Now, that was until yesterday, because this actually is my second attempt. I did start doing this commentary, got so far, and then my phone rang and I just lost my shit because I thought I didn't want to start again. But that took me to yesterday when I was having to flick through my subscriptions, and there's a guy who's been a long time sub of mine called the Mandy Cabbage, and he made a video talking about SCUF controllers, rapid fire controllers, NetDoom routers, and he'd actually made this commentary way before mine. He just never got around to uploading it, so it wasn't instantly directed at me. Maybe it was a little bit, you know, with the NetDoomer thing. Maybe he sort of watched my video and thought, I'm going to talk about this, but as far as the SCUF controllers are concerned, it wasn't sort of specifying that. Now, in the commentary, it kind of keyed in a little bit with the, you know, with the sort of comments I was getting on that video, and I needed to really set the record straight, because he was basically saying, you know, guys who use this NetDoomer router, it's almost like cheating. You know, it's like an element of cheating where you have this advantage over people with your connection. You have a godlike connection, whereas you've got these people who haven't got that sort of router and they can't deal with you, so you're getting these game-winning games. My answer to that is it's just totally wrong. You know, maybe I haven't pointed this out enough in the past. Maybe I need to keep going over the same thing over and over again. And I'm going to put the link to the video in the description. What I will say is go over, see the other side of the story. Please don't hate on that video. You know, he's been a long time sub of mine, and he's probably my most active sub, I believe, when I've looked at my demographics. So, you know, I don't want anybody to go over and just start trolling and hating, because it's just somebody else's theory, it's somebody else's perspective. Opinions are like arseholes. We've all got one. You know, I don't do these videos and expect people to go, oh yeah, I totally agree with you, you know, even though you don't. I want people to say, I don't agree with you. So, link will be down to that. Go and have a look at his side of the story. And even if you're not interested in the commentary, he's basically talking over not a gameplay, but a lady bouncing her ass up and down, I think, or her breasts, over and over again. So go and watch it just for that. You might get a morning glory in your panties. So, The NetDuma router, do I believe it's cheating? Absolutely not 100%. And I screwed up one of my commentaries. I made a statement on there which was a little bit out of sorts. And one of the representatives for NetDuma said, "Oh, I noticed you said that, you need to rectify that." What I actually said was, occasionally these little triangles pop up and it seems that these people are trying to join your game, but they can't break inside your geo filter, so it sort of like acts as a bouncer. I got that wrong, you know, that was my inexperience and lack of understanding about it. What those triangles are is it shows you hosts that you could have potentially connected to that are outside your geo filter that would have screwed up your game. So you see these guys flashing up and then it sort of disappears, and that's because it's like, look, this is what you could have connected to that would have fucked you up totally, but in fact you're inside this nice little nucleus of the geo filter that you've spread out over to the specified points that you want, and you're having a smooth connection. And that's basically all it is. It just makes the connection smoother. It doesn't make you God, you know. I've had bad games, you know, I've had some terrible games playing on the NetDuma. Sometimes I've lost the odd gunfight and I've thought, how did I lose that? And sometimes I've played against a better player who has in fact beaten me, or, you know, beaten me to the draw, or been quicker than me, or been more smarter than me. So it doesn't mean that I've got this advantage over anybody else. All it actually does is it looks for the best games with the best connection and puts you in those. Now, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? How many years have we had Call of Duty, and how many times have people been saying, when are we going to get these dedicated servers? Because you could say to people, why do you want a dedicated server? I want a dedicated server because I want a smoother experience in playing Call of Duty. Why do you want a smoother experience in playing Call of Duty? Because I want to have more fun. I'm not having fun. Boom! There you go. There you go. This basically almost acts as a sort of dedicated server. It's not a dedicated server, but it gives you the next best experience. You know, these things are the way forward as far as I'm concerned. Now, the argument that might come across about this is that people might say, well, it's not fair for somebody like me. You know, I've got a bug standard router and I've got a bug standard modem, yet you've got this sort of accentuated router that makes your gaming experience smoother, yet I can't afford this. That's not fair. My answer to that is, well, I'm sorry. You know, does that mean nobody should buy it because you can't afford it? Let's look at it in another light. Let's put some light and shade on this so that people get an idea in their head about how much of a bizarre statement that is, and that, you know, they'll sort of get a point of the argument. Let's say, for the sake of argument, that having better internet actually really did help your experience in Call of Duty. Or then again, let's say there's a guy and he's got absolute garbage internet. It doesn't benefit him whatsoever. Even the lag comp, it's just too much for him. But, you know, somebody like me, I've got BT Infinity, I've got, you know, 80 upload, I've got 80 download, I've got 20 upload, and I've got a 1 millisecond ping. Now, I go out, I work, I pay a lot of money for that internet because I want the faster experience. I want to upload videos faster. So should that guy look at me when, you know, he's running a 1 bar and I'm running a nice smooth 4 bar and say to me, you're cheating? You know, what internet have you got? I've got BT Infinity. Well, I've got fucking dial-up. You're cheating as far as I'm concerned because you've got better internet. You know, or the other side of the spectrum is that when I got my BT Infinity, originally I had the Home Hub 5, which is ass. You know, the Home Hubs are just terrible. Some people might like them, but the feeling across the board with gaming is that they are fucking terrible. Because I don't know why, you know, it's the same as the Virgin. But I went to Maplin's and I spoke to some, you know, experts there, and I said to them, look, I don't feel like I'm getting the best gaming experience. Who are you with? I said, BT. What have you got? I said, I've got the BT Home Hub 5. Bin it. They said, get rid of it. Sharpish. What you want is one of these. Now, they took me over to a Netgear N600 modem router. They said, this has got more features on there. You'll be able to have, obviously, UPnP, DMZ, but you've got quality of service. You can do better port forwarding, port triggering. There was so much more you could do on this router, and they said it will give you a smoother gaming experience. Now, I went out and I spent £90 on that router, and this was pre-NetDuma. This was the thing I was using before. And I set it up, and my experience in gaming was a hell of a lot smoother. You know, my NAT type went from moderate permanently to open. Even though I tried everything on my Xbox and on my PS4 to get an open NAT, it just wouldn't happen. This automatically gave me an open NAT, so that router improved my experience. So what about the guy who's got the modem with the bog standard router that hasn't got these features on? Does that mean I'm cheating because I've bought the, you know, the different router that's got the extra special features on? No, it doesn't. It just means that you want to pay that extra money to have that better experience. It doesn't mean it's made you a better player. It just means that you're not getting lag spikes all over the place. Let's say you join a golf club and you go to a jumble sale and you buy this £20 set of golf clubs, and they serve a purpose, you know, they do the job, but they've got, you know, tape around the handles and they're just a little bit scuffed. And you walk on a golf course and decide to take part in a bit of a challenge with your friends. And when you get on the golf course, you look at these guys' golf clubs and they've got ping, you know, they've got the best high-end golf sets that they've spent hundreds of pounds on. But they still do the same sort of job as yours, but they're probably a little bit more, I don't know, aerodynamic. They're maybe a little lighter as far as they can, you know, as far as swinging them goes. Do you believe that these guys are cheating because they've got more expensive clubs that they find easier to handle and haven't got ticker tape around the handles? No, it's up to them. They want to buy that thing to make their, you know, golfing experience a lot smoother. Do you walk around the site crying, saying, "Oh God, you guys have got the advantage over me. I've got these cheap jumbo sale golf clubs. You know, they still do the job. I can still play golf with them, but you know, you can swing yours a lot faster." Maybe going back to the whole sort of like cheating thing, I suppose if they had a head built into the end of the golf club that as it connected with the ball, it sprang out. It had this kind of like, you know, retractable automatic spring that pushed the ball and sent it a further 10 foot. Then yeah, you'd say you've got like a modified golf club. It does something other golf clubs don't have. That's complete bullshit. It's fucking sending the ball 10 yards, 10 feet further than mine. That's not fair. But as far as having something that it gives them a smoother experience, that they find more comfortable for them, that they find easier to use, it's not cheating. So hopefully that's kind of put my point across about this. You know, it doesn't make you God. I can't put that across enough. When I play a game and I'm using the geo filter, everybody is having the same experience as me because our connections are all close and all pinging off each other. We are all in the same lobby. We are all having the same fun or lack of fun, however, whatever way you want to put it. It's just that the NetDoomer and the geo filter find those preferential games. Who wouldn't want that? That's all I'm going to say. Who wouldn't want that? If you're one of these people that thinks that it's cheating and you think that somebody shouldn't have this, I don't see why you should have that. That's bullshit. That's cheating. If somebody knocked on your door and said, "There you go, I've got this thing called a NetDoomer router. It will actually improve your gaming experience 100%. You will find more you wouldn't even finish his sentence. You would bite his fucking hand off to take it. And then you'd become the hypocrite. So that's all I'm going to say. But anyway, like I say, there's two sides to every story, so I'm going to put the link to the Mandy Cabbage's video in the description. Please, I can't stipulate it enough again. Don't send any hate over there. It's just an opinion. He wouldn't forgive me if you went over and started bitching at him, so please just do it for me. But, you know, you want to see the other side of the argument, and maybe you believe me, and or maybe you know, are sort of siding with him. I don't know. But anyway, hopefully that's cleared a few things up. Apocalypse done.